You know what I'm saying? Like all our wins, all of our accomplishments, all of our, homes and cars and shiny things that we want to achieve, as we should, and we should, you know. But in the midst of that, man, I'm gonna tell you this, bro. Find that present moment, bro. Find that present moment. Find the kingdom, however you want to say it. Find that space, bro. Because until you find it, I promise you this. I promise you this. And the thing is, everybody's going to try it first. Everybody's going to attempt to find that peace first. If you don't find that present moment, if you don't find that peace you're searching for, I promise you'll spend the rest of your life looking for it in everything else. And at some point, maybe you're 25, 35, 45, 55. At some point, you're going to understand that, hey, bro, I've accomplished all these things. But what I'm really, really looking for on the deepest of levels, I've yet to see it.
About the time I made a call and we got right. I can tell you about the wins and all the losses in my life. I can tell you about the time we ain't give up and we still fight. I can tell you about the time. I can tell you about the money, cars and holes in the ice. I can tell you about the time I counted him in the night. I can tell you about the time I fucked me a dime on the flight. Another check came in, God forgave my sins. Rapping to myself at night, I just wanna vent. I give out myself sometime, looking outside in. Wanna work in overtime, can't stop clocking in. Told you I'ma stay focused, I'ma get motion with my mans. Folks trying to get close, can you keep going? Yes, I can. Frozen out, I've been frozen, feel like I'm falling, I ain't fall, here I stand. Talk back against the wall, I fight them all as a man. Say fuck about me, a house with horses and cows on the land. With the good rides full of Porsche horses.
I don't think people really understands what it means to be in the present moment. Well, let me say it like this. It's not that I don't think people understand what it means. I don't think people understand the power of being in the present moment. And at the same time, how few people ever really hit that spot. Like, to be present in the moment is by far the most powerful space that a person can live from. And it's one of the hardest things to maintain. You know what I'm saying? Because on the deepest of levels, or on the highest of levels, however you want to look at it, to be present in the moment is really to be one with God. That's what being present in the moment really means. It's to be one with God, right? Now you can look at this. You can look at this on the macro level, right? You can look at it, and I'm often talking about, if I'm talking about being present, I'm normally talking about it from the macro level. I'm normally talking about separating yourself from the past, like stop living from the past. And a lot of us can relate to that. A lot of us fully understand that. A lot of times our lives are created, or a lot of times our lives are going in the same cycles over and over years, is because we're still living from some kind of trauma behind us. See, a lot of people understand this when you talk about it on a macro level. You know what I'm saying? And normally when I'm talking about this, I'm speaking about it from a macro level. And when I say macro level, meaning like everybody understands what it means when I say, like when I'm talking about living in the present moment and not living in the past. Everybody understands that. Everybody understands that you can live from your past and create an undesirable world. You know what I'm saying? Everybody understands, for example, if you're constantly thinking about the trauma that you had when you grew up, if you're constantly thinking about, relationships that you were in several years ago that ended up badly. Everybody understands that if you're creating from that space, you're going to be getting an undesirable result. So everybody understands that, hey, live in the present moment so you're not recreating that. I can remember, and I made a video about this, man, not long ago. I can remember it seems like every relationship I got in, not even seemed like, it was actually every relationship I got in, man, ended the exact same way. I don't care if it was a woman from a different race, from a different culture, from a different creed. She could have grew up in the hood. She could have grew up in the backyard boonies. It seemed like every relationship ended the exact same way, man. And I couldn't make sense of it. I said, man, all these women, oh, this is clay. I said, all these women, they look different. They're coming in different shapes, sizes, and everything else. I said, but the result is ended up the exact same way. You know what I'm saying? And what I had to understand, man, was that I was living from my past, which means I was living from the relationship that I had just gotten out of. And before that, I was living from the relationship I gotten out of before that. You know what I'm saying? And I love being out here in nature, man. Sometimes it's not even about hiking several miles, man. Sometimes it's simply about just being out here in the element, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just listening to it, bro, smelling it, putting the computer down for a second. You know, a lot of people understand it when I'm talking about living from old trauma. You grew up and pops were beating you upside the head, or mom was doing X, Y, Z. So you're living from that space. A lot of people understand what it means, or the importance of living in the present moment then, right? But what a lot of people don't understand is how living from the future is just as bad as living from the past. So the crazy thing is, a lot of people teach from a space of saying that you're supposed to live from the future, but you're not supposed to live from the future. Like living from the future is just as damning as living from the past. And a lot of people have yet to understand that. You know what I'm saying? Again, a lot of people can relate to living from the past and understand how damaging it is. But what a lot of people don't understand is to live from the future is actually to live from a state of a lack of abundance. To live from the future is to live from the state of a lack of abundance. Because when you think about not having that thing, when you think about not living in that space, when you think about, one day I'll have that job, when you think about one day I'll have that husband or wife, when you think about one day I will be able to travel to the Bahamas or whatever, you're living from a place of not being abundant. You're living from a place of not being abundant. You're living from a place of not having it now. You're living from a place of the pendulum is still swinging. And if the pendulum is still swinging, then God can't be present. I'm gonna say it again for the people in the back, man. I'm gonna say it again for the people in the back. If the pendulum is still swinging, God cannot be present. Because God is constant energy. So if you're living in any state of I haven't achieved that thing yet, you can't be one with God. Let that soak in for a second, brothers. Let that soak in for a second, man, while I absorb this nature. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? It's not that a lot of people don't teach that. It's just that a lot of people really can't absorb that. A lot of people really can't absorb on how to bring that future. And I say it all the time. I say, you know what? It's good to go to that future. It's good to go there and extract that vibration, extract that feeling. But you're supposed to take that feeling and bring it back to your now. You can't live there. You can't live in the future. You're talking about a state of anxiety on 12. Just like you can't live from the past. Not saying you can't revisit the past mentally sometimes and extract the lessons, extract what you learn, and come back to the now. But you can't live in either one of them. So again, a lot of people understand the importance of living in in the now or living in the present moment from a macro level, right? But now you have to look at it, man, to really understand the power of it. You really have to look at it on a micro level. You know what I'm saying? You really gotta drill in a little bit more, man, and get a little closer to what's going on. Even when a person understands, okay, I'm in my present moment, it still levels to it, right? Even when a person is conscious of what that present moment is, you gotta understand it's a clear and cut difference between a person thinking of the present moment and a person being in the present moment. I'm gonna let this soak in for a second, man. I need y'all to be with me, man. It's a clear-cut difference between a person thinking of a present moment and being in the present moment. What you mean, so? What I mean is a lot of people that even once they've gotten a level of consciousness about what I'm talking about, a lot of people are still thinking from the present moment. And you have to understand that when you're thinking from the present moment, you're still living you're still looking at the situation from multiple perspectives. Meaning when you're thinking about the present moment, the pendulum is still swinging, because not only are you thinking about what could happen, you're still thinking about an alternative world. So again, there's still a pendulum swing. You're aware that, hey, you know what? I can leave my past alone. I cannot be in the future. But if you're just aware of the present moment and you're thinking from it, the pendulum is still swinging. You know what I'm saying? Meaning there's still an alternative. Meaning I may get the job, but I might not. I may heal the illness, but there's a chance that I may not. You're thinking from the present moment. You're tapped into something. You're tapped into source. You're thinking from the present moment, but it's not that oneness that everybody deserves, man. That everybody desires. It's not that oneness, bro. You have to go from thinking of that present moment, man, to being in that present moment. You know what I'm saying? When you're being from that present moment, there's no other alternative world. There's no other option. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only truth, and no other truth exists. Let that soak in for a second, brothers. Let that soak in for a second. Let that soak in while you think about what you define as faith. Let that soak in for a second, man, while you think about what it means to walk in your I am. I want this water cold, man. You know what I'm saying? The difference between thinking of the present moment and being in the present moment is the difference between living like common man and the difference between walking through this world as God. It is the difference between y'all get what I'm saying? It's a real thing, man. It's a real thing. It's about being in that moment. No other alternative world exists, man. And when I say high, brothers, it's the high of all highs. Like I said, man, I've had some good liquor in my life, bro. I've experienced some good things, man. I've had some fun times. I've enjoyed life. I'll say that, right? But nothing even come close to comparing to what it feels like to tap into that I am, bro. Like it's nothing remotely close, brothers. To walk with God. To have no fear. To give zero fucks about who's in the White House. About what the dollar is doing. about Bitcoin crashing, about wars and rumors of wars. It doesn't matter at that point, man. Because at that point, man, you tapped into your immortality, bro. You know what I'm saying? You tapped into that thing that the messenger was speaking about. When the messenger said, hey, some of y'all shall never taste death. You know what I'm saying? That missed about 99% of them, man. The messenger said some of y'all will never taste death, man. In other words, he said all of y'all gonna leave this physical world, of course. Some of y'all gonna get hung, some of y'all's head may get cut off, some of y'all might have heart attacks, some of y'all might have some cancer, who knows? But the ones that understand what I'm talking about, walk in step with the Creator, he said, oh no, y'all will never taste death. He said, what he was saying is, because even though y'all are still in this physical body, yeah, you're still manifesting things. Yeah, you're still in relationships. You're still playing the game of life. But on the deepest of levels, you've already crossed over. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're really not even here. So even when it's time for your body to do what it's supposed to do, man, it'll be nothing. Because you're not even here, brothers. You tapped into that thing. You know what I'm saying, brothers? To walk with source, man, is to be in the present moment, brothers. No greater feeling like it, man. Nothing in the world like it. But then the thing is this. This is the tricky part, right? The tricky part is maintaining that thing, bro. Maintaining that space, maintaining that frequency. You know what I'm saying? Making sure things remain in that state of being, man. That's the hard part. And the thing is, once you tap into that, man, you'll quickly realize that everything is constantly trying to bring you out of that state. In other words, everything is constantly reminding you either of what you used to be, what you used to have, or what you've yet to obtain. Huh? If you cross paths with any person, place, or thing, hey, spider, it's reminding you, it's trying to extract you out of your present moment. It's trying to extract you out of that oneness with God. You know what I'm saying? So the trick, so the trick of the game, man, is to really only fuck with shit. I'll say it like that, man. It's to only fuck with things that are in alignment with who you are. I'm gonna say it like this. Once you become the way to master the game is to only entertain things that are in alignment with that new I am. That's the only way, bro. Now you might come off as funny. You might come off as distant. You might come off as, oh, you think you better than us now. It's like, no, I ain't better than y'all. We all the same. I'm just tapped in. You might stop answering those phone calls as much. You might not reply to those emails. Them brothers and sisters might not see you down at the juke joint like they used to. They might not see you at Jumu'ah. They might not see you at church. You know what I'm saying? Last month, you were showing up every Wednesday, every Sunday, every Friday. And y'all know I ain't knocking no religion. I'll never knock religion. But they ain't seeing you no more. You gotta stay in alignment, man. So all I'm saying is, brothers, in all our getting, in all our search and attempts to conquer this world, you know what I'm saying? Like all our our wins, all of our accomplishments, all of our, homes and cars and shiny things that we want to achieve, as we should, and we should, But in the midst of that, man, I'm gonna tell you this, bro. Find that present moment, bro. Find that present moment. Find the kingdom, however you want to say it. Find that space, bro. Because until you find it, I promise you this. I promise you this. And the thing is, everybody's gonna try it first. Everybody's gonna attempt to find that peace first. If you don't find that present moment, if you don't find that peace you're searching for, I promise you'll spend the rest of your life looking for it in everything else. And at some point, maybe you're 25, 35, 45, 55, at some point you're gonna understand that, hey bro, I've accomplished all these things, but what I'm really, really looking for on the deepest of levels, I've yet to see it. I've yet to see it. Like, I have all these shiny things, man, but I can look at somebody that has half of what I have, is what you'll be thinking. And it's something they've found, it's something they possessed at some point in their lives, man, that I just can't put a finger on. You gotta understand, man, that's that thing that everybody is craving. And when I say everybody, it's universal. This is what everybody is craving. That present moment. Or that power, or that stillness that comes in that present moment. There's nothing like it, man. And to be honest, there's no word for it, bro. It's only a vibe. And until you felt it, you can't even understand a person trying to explain what it's like. You can't even explain it. You think you know bliss. You think that once that Henny hits the blood, that it's all to the good, man. There's no feeling like it. But it doesn't compare, brothers. It doesn't compare. So all I'm saying is this, man. Because I'm about to put this phone down, man, and enjoy this God essence out here. All I'm saying, man, is find that present moment. And trust me, you won't regret it, brothers.
I can tell you by the money, cars, and holes in the ice. I can tell you by the time I counted him in the night. I can tell you by the time I fucked me, a dime on the fly.